You know, there are two ways to go about introducing our next honoree. One way is to list all of the credits, and for this person, there are many that make up a remarkable career, including decades of acclaimed performances on television and comedy clubs, solo shows, and documentary films. The other approach is to talk about who this person really is. We have heard over and over about the central importance of authenticity in this association. I can't think of a better example of that very point. This person came into the speaking industry from the start, approached in her own unique way, quickly earning the respect and the business of major corporate clients. She was sought out by many of the CSPs here in the audience and CPAEs for coaching and insight. She is known for her contagious energy and for the invaluable laser-focused guidance on presentation, performance, and communication skills. All this to such a degree that numerous 100 executives come to rely on her. What strikes me the most about her is that, in addition to being brilliant and creative, she's one of the most thoughtful, kind, and genuine people in this industry. Her talent is great, her heart is pure, and her professionalism is really in a class of its own. Please help me welcome into the Speaker Hall of Fame, the one and only, my dear friend, Victoria Labalme.
When I came home from West Africa in 1993 to New York City, I was incredibly disoriented and confused and depressed, actually, because I looked around and suddenly realized that now in my 20s, most of my friends were married. They had husbands, they had careers, they had titles and incomes, and they had direction, and I had none of these. And I was at my parents' home shortly after, and I found myself in my old bedroom at the foot of my old bed on my old blue comforter, and I dissolved into tears because I felt splintered by the different interests I had. I loved acting and comedy and writing and choreography and directing and producing, and I didn't know how to put them together. There was no one profession that seemed to house them all. And my mother came in and saw me crying, and she put her arms around me and she said, "Your gifts will bring you home." And it took a while. I was struggling for many years, and in the 1990s I was in a comedy club trying to get into the Aspen Comedy Festival because I thought this surely would be the answer to putting everything together. And I did my best work, but I didn't get in. And it turned out that night I had auditioned for something else. It was NSA, because in the audience there were 3 speakers, Randy and Robert Gedalia and Tim Richardson. And Tim came up to me and he thrust out his hand and he said, "You have to come and be a speaker." And I didn't want to do that. I had my sights set on Hollywood and on fame, and but he kept at me. And years later, after going through some tough things and 9/11 and the loss of my mother, being famous in Hollywood didn't seem quite so important as contributing and connecting. And NSA seemed to offer that. And so I came, and my life has never been the same. And at the very final hour of my very first day at NSA, I was exhausted and fulfilled and joyous. And I got in the elevator to ride back up to my room at the Irvine Hilton Hotel. And I was in the elevator with some people I didn't know, and they were joking and laughing. And they got out on the floor together, and they went down the hall, but just as the elevator doors were closing, this guy looked at me, and I don't know who it was, but he said, "Welcome home, sister." For those of you who feel like you might not have found your home, I say keep searching. And for those of you who are here tonight who feel you found your place, to you I say, welcome home.